There is hope on campus once again, and joined by a slew of transfers and a healthy roster, this year's team is eager to show they're not to be overlooked. It all starts tonight, right here on the Pac-12 networks.
If we play with a collective heart and a collective spirit the whole year, a team heart and a team spirit, that's how you win. We're not going to settle for anything less than going for it every single play all the time. You're
College basketball season is here. Tonight, the USC on a beautiful evening in downtown Los Angeles, it is time to tip off the college basketball season as the USC Trojans welcome in the Eagles out of Coppin State and Baltimore, Maryland. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Paul Sunderland, joined by my...
And as a fifth-year senior, so critical for this USC team.
Big night and a comeback.
This USC...
College basketball season is here. Tonight, the USC Trojans start anew with a revamped roster looking to erase last season's bitter memory. The fans are ready. The Trojans are ready. USC faces Coppin State coming up next. On a beautiful evening in downtown Los Angeles, it is time to tip off the college basketball season as the USC Trojans welcome in the Eagles out of Coppin State and Baltimore, Maryland. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Paul Sunderland, joined by my partner, former Duke assistant Chris Patola. Chris, when you were playing at West Point, you had several opening nights. It's very, very difficult for young players, and we're going to see a lot of them this evening, to control their emotions and excitement. How did you fare?
You know, the first night, the lights come on. You've been preparing all summer, all preseason, but there is nothing like that first night when those lights come on, the smell of popcorn in the air. It gets me going again.
You are going again.
Absolutely.
And so is USC. They're looking to get going again after a very, very disappointing and injury-plagued season last year. And there's been a big turnover. Some faces coming back off of injury. Gio Fontan, who we'll talk about in a moment. Dwayne Dedman, injured at the center position last year. Byron Wesley was outstanding towards the end of last season. Omar Arabi, and the list goes on and on and on. But if you want to be successful at the college basketball level, and USC certainly does, you got to be good at the point guard position. So having Gio Fontan back, who was injured all last year with an ACL, is vitally important for USC.
Absolutely. And Kevin O'Neill called him this week the best point guard in the Pac-12, which is high praise because this league is a lot better this year. The thing about Gio, first of all, is the unquestioned leader of this team. He's the captain. But offensively, he's got a quick first step, a facilitator, can really score the basketball, and is a fifth-year senior. So critical for this USC team.
big night and a comeback for point guard Gio Fontan, who told me just moments ago, hey, I am really nervous. Starting lineup of the tip right after this.
Great.
Last year, there wasn't much to cheer about when it came to USC basketball. Injuries to key players left the Trojans reeling, resulting in a last place. Last year, there wasn't much to cheer about when it came to USC basketball. Injuries to key players left the Trojans reeling, resulting in a last-place finish in the Pac-12 Conference. However, for the return of team leader Gio Fontan, there is hope on campus once again. And joined by a slew of transfers and a healthy roster, this year's team is eager to show they're not to be overlooked. It all starts tonight, right here on the Pac-12 Networks.
If we play with a collective heart and a collective spirit the whole year, a team heart and a team spirit, that's how you win. We're not going to settle for anything less than going for it every single play all the time. You're tired, get out. If you're not tired, give us 100%. But we need to get this thing started off right by building minute upon minute for 40 minutes to get a win in game one. Let's go.
Let's go!
Time to get started, and it is an exciting night all around the nation for college basketball. USC Trojans taking on the Coppin State Eagles. The Eagles coming across the country from Baltimore, Maryland. 14-16 last year. We're just about to get ready to go. And we want to welcome everybody across the Pac-12 networks who's joining us here in Los Angeles at the Galen Center as we take a look at the starting lineups for both USC and Coppin State. J.T. Terrell, junior college transfer, big-time scorer, very, very important indeed. Eric Weiss, also a transfer out of University of California, Irvine, about 30 miles to the south. A big scorer last year. There is Kevin O'Neal, now in his fourth season at USC, 16th overall, previously on the college scene. Stints at Marquette, Tennessee, Northwestern, and Arizona, and also previously in the NBA. For Coppin State, the legendary Ron Fang Mitchell, now in his 27th season, 636 wins during the course of his career. 10 conference titles, 4 trips to the NCAA tournament, but it has been a struggle of late. Patrick Cole, one of the starters. Sterling Smith. Tariq Cephas, number 11 in blue out of Bear, Delaware. All rookie team last year. Coppin State comes out of the Mideastern Athletic Conference. Their home base is Baltimore, Maryland, and as just mentioned, 14-16 last year. 9-7 in the conference. USC coming out on the floor in their home whites, and Coppin State in their home black with blue and gold trim. And there is Gio Fontan. Told me he had big butterflies in his stomach. Chris, although he's a senior, missing all of last year, this is a big game for him, getting back on the floor and back into competitive action.
It's interesting, Paul. They got a lot of guys who are new, inexperienced, and haven't played in over a year. So it'll be interesting to see early how they deal with the butterflies. Well,
and also we'll talk about the transfers. There are a number of them representing the Trojans. JT Terrell won. He played in junior college last year, but Eric Weiss, who's got the basketball right here, had to sit out all last season, and he shook the rust off very quickly.
You know, he's great at the mid-range. I mean, he's very versatile, and he gets a start tonight after practicing with the team all year last year.
Well, USC under Kevin O'Neill will really get after you at the defensive end. Solid man-to-man, extend out on the perimeter. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. A little bit out of control. Offensive rebound missed by Charles Eanes, and Wesley will take the rebound for USC. Almost a travel. Terrell, his first shot as a Trojan. You talk about some young nerves, and that was about 3 feet long.
Yeah, a little juiced up. Close the windows.
Talked to the Coppin State coaching staff, particularly assistant Larry Tucker, earlier today. And in spite of a big size disadvantage, they're going to try to play up tempo. That shot missed inside by Brandon St. Louis, 6'8" sophomore out of New York. Quickly at the other end, and Wesley has that rim in and out. Battle for the offensive rebound, and ball is lost over the end line by Tariq Cephas, 5'10" sophomore, as mentioned, out of Delaware. Pretty frenetic start so far.
Absolutely. You know, the USC coaching staff told us coming into tonight, there's not a lot you can know about Coppin State. A lot of turnover for them, their first game tonight. There's two things they wanted to do. They wanted to set the tone defensively, and they wanted to take good shots. And there on that last break, Gio Fontan getting Byron Wesley a great look.
Boy, terrible defensive breakdown on an easy inbounds play, and Weiss back-to-back baskets to open things up for USC. Weiss averaged 15.4 in his 3 years as a career. That's pretty good scoring career at UC Irvine. Eanes, step back three-pointer off the front of the iron, and Dwayne Dedman, one of those injured Trojans, missed games with a very sore hand. Gio Fontan into the attacking zone, and then his season was ended by a fracture in his foot.
USC wants to push. You know, typically Kevin O'Neill likes to play a deliberate offensive game, but they said on missed shots, they're going to look to push the ball.
Good ball movement here, and Dedman can make that shot. I know he missed it there, but Dwayne Dedman at 7 feet, out of the junior college ranks before he came to USC last year, he can make a face-up jump shot.
He really can. He's got long arms. He has, if the definition of a pro body, that's Dwayne Dedman.
And the way the pro game is played these days, his ability to make a face-up jump shot, that's an asset as well.
You know, we've seen three-point shots early from USC, Coppin State in that zone, so you're going to get the looks. You just got to knock them down.
That's got to be a travel on the perimeter, no doubt. Charles Eanes a little bit out of control and give the turnover to Coppin State. USC, we talked about their injury-marred season last year, just 6-26 overall on the season, 1-17 in the conference.
And Paul, we've seen a bunch of different defenses so far from Coppin State. You know, one of the things Fang Mitchell loves to do, he's going to change it up and play a bunch of different kinds of defenses.
I'll tell you, Kevin O'Neill would not be happy with a fall-away jump shot by Dwayne Dedman when the ball got into the teeth of the zone. Good hustle by Fontan, getting on the floor, a held ball, and we will look at the possession arrow, and it will stay with Coppin State. Well, we have a moment. The officials on hand on behalf of the Pac-12 Conference, Kevin Brill, Gregory Nixon, and DJ Nelson will be calling the game. Shot clock is reset. Coppin State to inbound. Just underway. Opening game. The officials talking things over. They've got to shake off a little rust as well, although all these officials, they get out and work scrimmages, and when you were at Duke, you maybe wouldn't bring in the ACC officials, but you bring in some officials to make sure that they were up to speed as well.
You absolutely do, and they'll watch tape, and they'll come in and do some preseason stuff with you. They're prepared, but again, we talked about the players having jitters. There's no question these officials do as well.
And at the scorers table, talk about something at the jitters at the scorers table as well. On the held ball, shot clock had inadvertently been reset to 35, and now they're checking the video or with the official timer and score to make sure that the right time is left on the 35-second shot clock. An official came out and said we're good, so we will play. 17:05, as mentioned, just underway. Remaining 35 on the fresh shot clock. St. Louis thought about it, will kick out for about a 29-footer, not there, battle for the rebound, and Dedman thought about tracking that down and had it slip off the end of his fingers, so another fresh shot clock once again for Coppin State, who is now 0 for 4 from the floor. Nice little up fake, drawing Weiss into the foul about 25 feet from the basket.
One of the things that Kevin O'Neill stresses defensively, you know, they're going to play you inside the three-point line and really contain, but they're going to be very physical on the ball, and they're going to do what he calls shrink the court. They're going to bring everybody to the help side, and they've got 5 guys guarding the ball.
First personal foul on Weiss, first team foul on USC. Coppin State doing a pretty good job of moving the basketball. They just can't buy a field goal right now. Terrell thought about it again out of junior college after starting his career at Wake Forest up in Washington last year, averaged about 24 points per game. Terrell down in the corner, once again working against the matchup zone offered up by Coppin State.
Watching USC practice yesterday, they spent about 30 minutes preparing for this zone, so they knew it was coming.
Dribble drive, kick outside, Wesley pull-up jumper, and knocks that down, and USC leads it early 6-0.
And that's what you want. There were 5 seconds left on the shot clock. They get a great look from a guy who benefited last year from all the injuries they had, and Byron Wesley got a chance to play and play a lot.
And finally, a basket knocked down off the perimeter that time by Michael Murray, 6'5" junior out of Brooklyn, New York. And here's the full court pressure. Was interesting. Coaches will never tell you the truth. When I was speaking with assistant Larry Tucker this afternoon, he said, we're going to press full court man-to-man. Okay, that part of it, fine. How about zone? No, we don't play zone. All we've seen so far is zone. The basketball season is underway. USC leading early over Coppin State. Pac-12 basketball is brought to you by State Farm. For auto, home, life, and banking, get to a better state. And by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the game's most refreshing beer. Chris, I'll just dribble penetration, whether against a zone or man, always hurts a defense. You know, I'll get it to you quick.
Yep.
But KO he stands right in front of me.
I know.
You cannot see a damn thing.
I know.
I just had to guess who made that three-pointer. Where did the stats go? Woo, 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 woo. That's all right. It's all right. Pac-12 basketball is brought to you by State Farm. For auto, home, life, and banking, get to a better state. And by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the game's most refreshing beer. Galen Center, USC up early. The benefit of dribble penetration against a man or a zone, it's going to break you down every time, Chris.
You know, a lot of people think you beat a zone by out-shooting it. And here what you see is great penetration, getting to the lane. And one of the best ways to get an open shot against a zone, be it that shot that Wesley took there or a three, is off of a relocation or penetration. And USC doing a great job using the clock and getting a good shot.
And on the floor for the first time in a USC uniform, number 55, Omar Arabi, 7'2", 270 pounds, out of Cairo, Egypt. Played 34 games last year for the Rice Owls, where he averaged 6 points and 4 rebounds. And right on cue, Arabi with his first career basket for the Trojans, tying the lace on his shorts.
Yeah, how about they sub out 7 foot and sub in 7'2".
Kevin O'Neill has been very, very impressed with Arabi so far in practice, who's still seeing to his attire, and was just declared eligible today. Transfer, he played at Rice last year, and usually would have to sit out a year, but here he is in the lineup.
The thing that strikes you the most, you know, walking in yesterday and seeing him for the first time, he is absolutely massive in person.
Well, there's some players that are listed at 7'1", 7'2", and there are some players that just flat out are. And he falls into the latter category. Coppin State doing a pretty good job. They're getting some open looks, but I'll tell you, if you're going to shoot the ball from 30 feet, you're going to be open. That one way off the perimeter, but USC unable to close out the possession. Offensive rebound taken, shot inside, not blocked by Arabi, but Aaron Fuller came over. USC out on the break. Fontaine, no. But one official had it as a block, the other as a charge, and the official with the charge will take the call. Another look.
And already we see probably the toughest call in all of sports, that block charge call. And it has been a point of emphasis, it feels like, for about 6 years now. And there again, we see some confusion early. They'll be emphasizing it 16 years from now, as you well know, after being an assistant coach at Duke for many years. But, you know, it's the toughest call in the game for a reason. You know, they can emphasize it and study it. It's just a bang-bang play. It is. And the circle, putting the circle underneath the basket has helped. Troy Franklin with the almost uncontested layup at the other end. He was supposed to start, and a lot expected for number 23 in black, out of Baltimore. Transfer from Townsend State. Was a pretty big-time scorer there, but so far not necessarily earning the favor of head coach Rong Fang Mitchell. SC leading at 8-5, just underway. Opening night of college basketball all over the country, of course, in the Pac-12, and we're glad to have it for you here on the Pac-12 networks. Franklin again off the screen and roll, deflected, shot clock inside of 10. Good defense by the Trojans, forcing the turnover. Ari Stewart, another one of the transfers, spots up and buries the three-pointer. Ari Stewart, 6'7", 205 pounds, redshirt junior out of Wake Forest, and again quickly at the other end. How is Coppin State finding some open looks here? Well, first of all, the transition is a great time to shoot threes. So there on that last three by Coppin State, USC not identifying, not fanning out. And on the other end, USC's actually gotten some great looks behind the arc with penetrating kick. And Arabi using that big body. Good entry pass for the wide open dunk down inside. Ari Stewart getting back inside to take the rebound. USC leading it 13-8. USC in their opener with Coppin State. Gio Fontaine, dribble penetration, wide open jumpers, that off the iron, and it is going to be off of Arabi and out of bounds. Another look at Omar Arabi, and this is pretty good instincts and footwork and use of the body. Well, it's a great pass by your senior point guard, and all you got to do with a guy who's that big, put him in a position. He led him to the basket, gave him a great angle, and Arabi took care of the rest.
Aaron Fuller also in the basketball game, another transfer out of Iowa, did play several games last year before season-ending shoulder surgery. And Chas Bryan, 5'9", 165 pounds, out of Oaks Christian, a real coaching favorite. Franklin down in the lane. Chas Bryan has been a real find. He's a presidential scholar. That's how he got into USC, and that's how he's getting his education paid for. A really tremendous student, number 13 in white, and also going to be a part of this basketball team, and an important part.
It's interesting. They knew that he could play a little bit, but I talked to Kevin O'Neill last week, and he said, we are absolutely shocked with the impact he's had on our team. And what it does is it allows Kevin O'Neill to now give Gio Fontaine a breather. And, you know, Fontaine's still going to play his 30 minutes, but you bring in a guy now who can put pressure on the basketball and can lead your team and run your team. Huge pickup and a big surprise for Kevin O'Neill and his staff. When
I was at practice about 2 weeks ago, one of the players that just jumped off the floor for me was Chas Bryan, now bringing the ball quickly out of the backcourt. Greg Allen, number 2, designated jump shooter, if you will. Coach O'Neill says that he is very improved this year in his all-around game. James Blasek on the floor as well, number 31. Pull up, step back, jump shot, and that is now 5 points quickly for Stewart.
And we've already seen Kevin O'Neill play 10 guys.
Tell me about it. Opening night, and I'm going down my board.
It's unbelievable, and all we've heard about all summer and all preseason is their depth and their size.
Stewart again beating Bryant off the dribble. We will have a couple of free throws when we come back to the Galen Center. The USC got out very quickly. Troy Franklin getting them back in the game, but Ari Stewart with a hot hand early for USC. USC making half of their 14 field goals on top of Coppin State, 15-9. I want to remind you to circle your calendars tomorrow for another big day of Pac-12 football. As Arizona State, the Sun Devils hit the road to take on the USC Trojans, followed by the Utah Utes, heading to Seattle to take on the Huskies. A great Pac-12 doubleheader on tap as the road to the Pac-12 championship heats up. Coverage begins at 11 a.m. with a football pregame show right here on the Pac-12 networks. A very full day of college basketball today and a full day of college football, especially right here in the Pac-12 conference. Paul Sunderland with former Duke assistant Chris Patola. And as mentioned just before the break, going to the free throw line, Troy Franklin, the transfer out of Townsend State, and he looks like he can beat his defender off the dribble, get to the rim, get to the free throw line.
Yeah, he's really quick. I mean, you know, look, his career high at Townsend State was 27 points, so he can he can fill it up, and he's played in a lot of games. You know, I think for him, it's, you know, you say, well, why didn't he start tonight? I think for him it's a matter of just adjusting to Coppin State, adjusting to playing for Fang Mitchell, and eventually you'll see him in their starting lineup.
Well, he's certainly been their best player so far. I know we've only played about 8 minutes and 20 seconds, but he is clearly their most effective player.
And here we see the full court pressure, and you know, he's running over to trap. It's amazing, and there's the wide open three, which if you move the ball against pressure, you will get. It's amazing the number of defenses we've seen Coppin State play so far.
Greg Allen, good three-point shooter in junior college, didn't have all that much playing time or opportunity to find his confidence or rhythm last year, but knocked that down. There's the defensive pressure applied by USC.
They will really, and again, I said it earlier, they will really close out to the basketball.
Franklin again directing traffic, looking for a seam. Good help defense that time. Trojans force the turnover. Bryant quickly out of the backcourt. Poor spacing there on the handoff. And USC will settle into their half-court set. Ten to shoot. Wesley on the dribble drive, ball is loose. Blasick says, look what I found, and throws in the leaner from inside the free throw line.
Sometimes it just falls into your hand, but again, USC being deliberate in their offense. Blasick actually didn't practice yesterday, had tweaked a knee, and they were wondering whether he was going to play tonight or not.
Pull-up jump shot wide open off the perimeter, so Coppin State hanging around, trailing just 20-11. That shot knocked down by Andre Armstrong. And Kevin O'Neill usually calls timeouts because of defensive breakdowns, and he called a quick one back to the last possession. And James Blasick, again, look what I found. This was a good defensive stand by Coppin State.
No, it's good. I mean, it's good defense. It's just lucky offense, to be honest with you. But again, it's being alert and making a great play. You know, Kevin O'Neill, he'll tolerate things defensively if offenses make plays, but one thing he will not tolerate are open shots. And so he calls the quick timeout. And a lot of these early games, Paul, are about establishing how you're going to play, what your standards are. And Kevin O'Neill, known for establishing standards defensively, and we said in the open, they want to set a tone defensively.
Want to remind everybody, coming up at the half will be the State Farm halftime report with all the scores from around the Pac-12 on opening night. Several games prior to this, one game over at UCLA going on coincidentally. It's coming up at the halftime. So Gio Fontan back on along with Weiss. Dedman back on the floor as well with Dedman, so it's the starters for USC.
And there's that mid-post with Weiss, and what I mean by the mid-post is he's not down on the block. He's a few feet out from it, and you know, where you want to throw the ball down to Dedman and Orabi down on the block or definitely within the paint, you allow Weiss, who can post up. He starts from a post up at the mid-range. He can turn and face. He can make a move. I really like Weiss. I think he's a critical part of their team this year. He's got a high IQ. He's a good passer. He's experienced. I really like Weiss.
When I spoke with head coach Kevin O'Neill just yesterday, I asked him about the real positives with this group. He said, we play really hard. There's a lot of room for improvement. Well, you could say that even about Indiana, that's ranked #1 on the season, but I get it. A lot of depth, to your point, not only about Weiss, but Fuller, who'll come in for him. And he said, look, we've got a toughness about us from players that I knew and players that I didn't really know a lot about. And that'll win you some basketball games.
You know, Kevin O'Neill, one of the things he said about this group is they're just a bunch of hard-playing guys, and that cannot warm his heart anymore. But, you know, one of the things as you get older and when you have older guys, which they do, and these are guys, a lot of them on their last chance. I mean, playing their last year of college basketball, you will play with a chip on your shoulder, especially after a 6-26 season, and you will play with a sense of urgency.
The kick out, the fill along the baseline, but it's going to be a blocking foul called against USC. Some subs coming back on. That is Patrick Cole, #1. And to inbound will be Sterling Smith out of Chico, California. Went to prep school in Troy, New York. USC leading at 21-14. Boy, USC looked like they got completely lost at the defensive end, but Weiss came over for the saving block.
Yeah, it's great help, and that's what team defense is. It's not one guy guarding the ball, it's 5 guys guarding the ball, and there Weiss, alert, comes over, makes a great play.
Inside to Dedmon, who's immediately triple teamed, and they called a held ball. Wow, that was a quick whistle.
You know, one of the things in watching Dedmon play, you know, he's got to catch it lower. You know, we were talking about mid-post and low post. Look at where he catches it on that Pac-12 logo. He's got to catch it down on that block. He and Arabi, they've got to catch it low because they're not going to do anything from there.
Chris, I think you'll see Arabi catch it very, very deep. But Dwayne Dedmon, he's just one of those players that's more comfortable on the perimeter. So as much as he wants to be on the block, he just, you know, subconsciously drifts out. Shot clock at 6, Fontaine along the baseline. Wesley on the floater, not there, but he will go to the free throw line. Why is USC right now seemingly struggling so much against this zone?
You know, a lot of it is they don't play against it in practice every day. You know, they play every day in practice against tough man-to-man in your face. And what's happening, it's a little bit of a psychological. When you start getting open shots, which they've had great looks. That's actually sometimes a tougher shot than expecting pressure, expecting somebody to be closing out hard on you.
Wesley averaged 10 points and 5 rebounds per game. Now the 6'5", 210-pound sophomore out of Rancho Cucamonga, and was probably the only bright spot, if you will, last year in an otherwise forgettable season. He really came on towards the end of conference season and put up some nice numbers and played smart and played hard.
If there's a silver lining in a 6-26 year, it's that a guy like Byron Wesley gets to play a lot of minutes, and it's helped him coming into this season.
Misses both free throws, however, and this is Cephas quickly out of the backcourt. Another long three-point jumper. That one missed. That by Franklin, pretty wild shot. And USC, that's Terrell saving it, but he saves it on the floor to Franklin. Down along the baseline, nice little give and go. Eanes up into the bottom of the rim, and here comes USC with numbers. The lob to Wesley, lays it up and in.
Great unselfish play on the break and an athletic play by Wesley.
And that's going to be a suspended dribble. Carrying the basketball called against Franklin. That is Troy Franklin, the turnover. Another look. USC starting to get some numbers here.
Well, it's a great unselfish play, and what he does, actually, the defender didn't play that all that poorly. You want the defender to commit most cases, but Terrell makes a great pass, unselfish play, and you need athletes to finish those. Here we see him back in the zone.
Trapping out of it. And USC having some real, I thought you made a great point about not practicing against it. Errant pass, believe it or not, too high for the 7'2" Arabi, and right through the defense. Easy basket for Coppin State's Patrick Cole. USC leading at 24-16. Coppin State hanging around.
You got to throw it to Arabi down there.
Fang Mitchell going crazy. He thought Arabi changed his pivot feet. The 7'2" center working hard for the offensive rebound, and the putback now with 4. Boy, quickly at the other end and coming right back-to-back baskets. That's Cole again. And when you get a timeout at this end of the floor, you know it's Kevin O'Neal. Not happy with the half-court defense and not happy with the transition defense of USC.
You know, last year, what we've seen so far today, Coppin State take a lot of threes, which is what they do. Omar Arabi, too much for Charles Eanes on the inside.
Pac-12 basketball is brought to you by Esurance, now offering savings for Pac-12 students and alumni. Find out more at esurance.com/Pac-12. And by Quicken Loans, engineered to amaze. Season opener for USC and Coppin State with exactly 7 minutes remaining. USC leading 26-19, and just cleared yesterday by the NCAA. Rice transfer, 7'2", 270-pound Omar Arabi.
Kevin O'Neill said to us yesterday, and it took me aback a little. He said he's one of the better players I've coached, and it's going to take him a little time before he gets it, but he could be a 12 to 13 year pro, which is high praise. But he's already passed the first test. He has size. Now it's a matter of him developing. He's only 20 years old, and a great, being here at USC, playing for a guy like Kevin O'Neill will be great for Omar Arabi.
One of the things that I've noticed, and I look for it every time I see a young big man come into college basketball, one of the most underappreciated skills, I think, in the game, can he catch the basketball? If you can't catch the ball, you can't play.
Yeah, and it's amazing how big guys in college, it usually takes them, their development is a longer process than it is for guards. And, there's a lot of reasons for that. The physicality down there being one of them. Understanding how to work with another big guy. But he's in the right system, and he's playing with other good big guys, and Dwayne Dedman and Blashek. I mean, both those guys can help him get better.
Wesley will inbound for USC. Again, the Trojans leading at 26-19. USC 11 of 19 from the floor. 2 of 8 from three-point range so far. What's keeping Coppin State at least in contact? 4 of 9 from three-point range. Troy Franklin has come on and been a spark offensively, although a little bit out of control last couple of trips. That ball deflected just out of bounds by Franklin.
You mentioned the threes. Last year, Fang Mitchell put a team on the floor that was second best in the country as far as three-point shooting. They made 289 threes on the year, almost 10 a game. So they're going to shoot them, and in a game like this where you're outsized, you're going to end up shooting a lot of threes.
Good ball movement, rattling in and out, and nice soft hands again by Arabi on the finish.
And he just positions himself right around the rim, and a great touch on the tip.
Arabi now with half a dozen. Crossover dribble, floater in the lane. Arabi thought he got away with a foul there. A little bit of a late whistle, and it'll be the first personal on Arabi, the 15th foul on USC, and free throws coming.
We've seen this thing start to settle in here. Coppin State still going to take their threes, but we've seen, as far as rotation, we've seen Kevin O'Neill go back with his starters. He has yet to play, and this is interesting because he said he might do it. He has yet to play Arabi and Dedman together.
And I think they would complement one another. High-low, high 7-footer, entering the ball into another 7-footer. And also, as we've talked about, Chris, Dedman can make a 15 to 17-foot jump shot, so he can stretch the floor a little bit. They have corrected the scoreboard. That is 16 fouls on USC. So one more, and they will be over the limit. It's going to be a lane violation called against Fontaine, so wipe away that miss. And Patrick Cole will go back to the free throw line, the 6'5" freshman out of Newark, New Jersey. The official offering up an explanation as to why the lane violation, and now the second free throw good. Patrick Cole doing a pretty nice job now, leading the way for Coppin State with 7 and continuing full court pressure.
See Coppin again back in the zone.
They do a good job of matching up out of it. Terrell again 0 for 3 from three-point range. Long rebound taken that time by Smith, and here comes Coppin State. Good dribble drive down the lane. Arabi influencing that, takes the rebound. We're going the other way. USC leading it 28-21, just inside of 6 minutes remaining in the opening half. And that ball deflected out of bounds.
And that's the three you want. I know Terrell's missed early here tonight, but Gio Fontaine does a great job. They want to push off a miss. And JT Terrell had a three there, passed it up, and they get the ball back out of bounds.
Terrell, not a very auspicious start to his Trojan career, getting a few words from Kevin O'Neill. 0 for 5 from the floor, all of them from outside the arc.
You know, playing at junior college is one thing, but you come up to this level, lights on, playing in a new environment, it can do some crazy things.
Shot clock at 8. Wesley looking inside for a Robbie. Good ball fake by Allen. Dribble into the lane and nice drive and kick. Wesley with a basket.
That is great zone offense. They're playing inside out. They're taking the clock down. They're forcing Coppin State to play defense for 32 seconds. Great offense by USC.
Wesley now with 8 to lead all scorers. Isolation against Arabi. That is a terrible shot. Stepping back on the 7-footer. Inside of 5 minutes, USC back on top by 10. Fontaine, step back, straight as an arrow, but just a little bit long. USC now 3 of 12 from outside the arc. What a nice look down inside and lots of contact. And it'll be free throws coming. Once again, good zone offense by USC creating the open shot.
You've got a skip pass, then we come back. Ball reversal's key, and there's that penetration. Get into the paint, get 2 feet in the paint, and kick out. And when you get into the paint like that, what it does, it sucks that defense in, and then you get the open threes. And USC, they haven't made them at a high percentage so far tonight, but I think what Kevin O'Neill and his staff will look at and say, look, we're getting great shots. Eventually going to go in. First night here, Paul. First night of hoops.
Cephas at the free throw line for Coppin State, making the first and earning the penalty. Coppin State playing out of the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, the MEAC as it is known around the country. Their last NCAA appearance in 2008, 14-16 last year. Lost 4 starters, most notably among them, you mentioned the good outside shooting Tony Gallo, who averaged 17 points per game last year. So a lot of new faces for 2 different teams from 2 different coasts on the turnover, and Coppin State's going to score it again.
When you're outsized and outmanned, if you can get some points off your defense, which Coppin State does there, again, still trapping.
Well, almost a double dribble there. USC now, oh, look at the finish by Dedman, but they call Dwayne Dedman for going over the top. So wipe away the spectacular basket, and USC will come back on defense, leading by only half a dozen.
This was just a great pursuit of the basketball. First of all, a decent shot. Wow.
Well, usually you reward a nice block out. I didn't see much there. On the dribble penetration down inside, I'll tell you, Coppin State is doing a very nice job of isolating, get into the lane, and getting to the free throw line.
Well, this is what they want to do. They want to penetrate, they want to kick, they want to spread the floor. And, you know, there's an old expression. They call it, if you're
too young for an old expression.
Well, this is well before my time, but I always used to live by it. If you're a shooter, you always have a shooter's chance. And for a Coppin State in a game like this tonight, coming all the way to the West Coast, you're playing in this environment, you've got a shooter's chance if you can start to hit some threes.
And make some free throws. They've
Absolutely.
gotten themselves to the line.
They have lived there.
And both of those free throws missed exactly to that point. You look at the numbers, and Coppin State now just, well, they are 7 of 10, so getting there, but they've missed the front end of some one-on-ones. Aaron Fuller, number 21 in white, at the other end. SC leading 33-25. A wild floater in the lane, high up off the glass by Cephas. Spectacular teardrop.
Absolutely. A little floater. And now they're in man-to-man. So they've come out of the zone, they're in the pressure, and now they're playing a little half-court man-to-man.
Are you surprised by that, given the success they've had the last 4 or 5 possessions in the zone?
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes coaches get locked in what they do. And Fang Mitchell, he's known for playing multiple defenses. And you come into a game like tonight, they haven't had a chance to scout you. Sometimes you try to throw a lot of different defenses at a team.
We'll step aside. 3:28 remaining in the opening half here at the Galen Center. USC 33, Coppin State 27. Savings for Pac-12 students and alumni. Find out more at esurance.com/Pac-12. And by Quicken Loans, engineered to amaze. And by Quicken Loans, engineered to amaze. /Pac-12. And by Quicken Loans, engineered to amaze. Pac-12 basketball is brought to you by eSurance, now offering savings for Pac-12 students and alumni. Find out more at esurance.com/Pac-12. And by Quicken Loans, engineered to amaze. Pac-12 basketball is brought to you by eSurance, now offering savings for Pac-12 students and alumni. Find out more at esurance.com/Pac-12. And by Quicken Loans, engineered to amaze. USC on top of Coppin State narrowly with 3:28 remaining, 33-27 in the first half. Paul Sunderland along with Chris Patola, and so far Byron Wesley picking up right where he left off at the end of last year, the only player in the game in double figures for the Trojans with 10.
And that was the one spot, you know, the USC staff didn't really know who was going to start in that 3 position. They knew the other 4 spots were pretty much solidified, but nobody had really stepped forward. Byron Wesley doing that so far.
USC will have it once again, facing the zone with a fresh shot clock. Nice look inside to Fuller and gets bailed out there. A little bit of a late call again. It'll be 2 free throws coming so far. Again, we talked about Coppin State doing some damage at the line, 7 of 10 free throws, and they've missed a couple the front end of 1-and-1s. USC getting to the line now for just the 5th and 6th time.
One of the things that's really been impressive, and there's a lot of question marks when you come in with a lot of new guys as far as chemistry, can they play together. This is a USC team that did not average a whole lot of assists last year. They have 8 of them early, and they've missed a lot of open looks off of great passes. So really sharing the ball. And one of the things, we said it early, that USC wanted to do was take good shots, and they've done that so far.
USC now 14 of 26 from the floor. That comes out to 54%, to your point. Can't be given an assist if the ball doesn't go through the basket, but they have missed their share of open shots, particularly from outside the perimeter. Franklin again on the dribble, pull up 3-pointer, no, and the long rebound is taken by Fuller. But Dedman is going to be called away from the play, blocking out against Brandon St. Louis. So Arabi will come back on. Dedman picking up his 2nd personal foul. James Blasick actually is at the scorer's table. So it'll be 2 free throws coming. Yet now Coppin State in the double bonus, that being the 10th team foul. And another missed free throw. I'll tell you, this could be a tie basketball game if Coppin State was really good from the free throw line. Here comes Blasick, and Dedman will go to the sideline. USC, their biggest lead, 31-21, with about 7.5 minutes remaining, and they have hit a real drought at the offensive end, have the Trojans. Long rebound, loose on the floor, and Coppin State will control and go right back to the rim. Missed that there. Wild shot on the follow, controlled by USC.
Everything but the finish. A great pass, though.
Look down inside to Fuller. Blasick battling for it. A little pinball basketball, and Fuller coming up empty, and here comes once again Coppin State. Tariq Cephas out of the back court. A little sloppy the last 5 or 6 minutes by both teams. Step back, pull up jumper not there, and USC doing a good job off all these misses at the defensive board. 2:15 remaining in the half. And still can't find the basket. JT Terrell now 0 of 6, but quite frankly, all pretty good looks.
Yeah, you know, you're okay with missed shots, especially if they're open. I think what Kevin O'Neal's not happy there is it's off of one pass, and you know they want to move the ball. They want to make this Coppin State defense work.
Well, USC has been over the limit for a long time. Coppin State going to the line, and USC not going to the basket, not getting the ball inside. Right. Coppin State still has a foul to give.
Right. A lot of jump shots. 7
on the shot clock, now counting down. Step back, count the basket, and the foul. Andre Armstrong, 6'3" junior out of Jamaica, Queens, New York, knocks down the jumper. And we'll look to complete the 4-point play.
You never foul a jump shooter. The risk you run with the hard closeouts there, JT Terrell knowing that they want to shoot threes, and Andre Armstrong with the shot. And I'll tell you what, this Coppin State team, they are not afraid. I mean, they've come here to do what they do. They're going to shoot their shots. They've gotten into the paint, and they've played hard.
That free throw way short. Rebound taken by Wesley. 1:35 remaining. USC leading just 35-30. You can see how hesitant now Terrell is. That was a wide open jump shot. He would have taken that without any hesitation in the first few minutes. Around to screen, and he's going to get to the free throw line.
And he got bailed out there. I mean, the first one was wide open. He takes the one dribble to take a tougher shot. He's definitely searching right now.
That's really a bad foul by Coppin State. You got to listen and realize that number 20 in white, JT Terrell, is 0 for 6. And so Ron Fang Mitchell is probably telling his guys, look, it's not his night. Don't bail him out. Don't get a good shooter to the free throw line, because once they see the ball going through the basket from anywhere, it can turn around in a second.
Yeah, well, on two plays now, we saw USC foul a jump shooter, and now we see Coppin State foul a jump shooter. And it's just get a hand up. To what you're saying, he hasn't made a shot all night. Put pressure on, high hands, but don't foul him.
So both free throws up and good, and the first points of the Trojan career for JT Terrell. USC leading 37-30.
This is 1 minute left in the half. How you finish the half. You got to get a good shot here.
Well, that's got to be a 5-second call. Look at right in front of the official, right in front of Kevin O'Neal. And the pressure defense leads to a turnover for Coppin State.
You're struggling offensively. Try to get some stuff off your defense. And here we've talked about the USC ball pressure. Byron Wesley knew he had him in the hole there.
7th turnover for Coppin State, half a dozen for USC. Blasick thought about it. Fontan directing traffic, still plenty of time to shoot.
So huge how you end a half. You get the turnover,
oh, look
now
at
can
that.
You get a look?
Ball is loose, now 8 to shoot. Terrell, pull-up jumper, straight away not there. Long rebound taken, and Coppin State the last shot. I don't know if they will, but they should. They will not. Armstrong pulls up, not there. Rebound taken, and now USC will work for the last shot.
It's not a good shot. Shot clock's off, pull it out. You got a chance to cut it to 4. or even 5, and man, pull that thing out.
Well, time and score. Coppin State, not good, great recognition. Fontaine wide open to Wesley at the buzzer, counted for 3.
And that's why you gotta pull the ball out.
So they will confirm the 3-point shot is good, and that was a big, important make for USC. They lead it 40-30. Another look.
Penetrating kick. Gio Fontaine does a great job getting into the paint. Byron Wesley is disciplined, keeps his spacing, and this is what I was saying. If Coppin State pulls the ball out, gets a good shot, make or miss, the worst you can do is go down 7. Now you go down 10 at the half.
Those are the kind of plays that win and or lose games. The score at halftime here at the Galen Center, USC 40, Coppin State University 30. Make sure you stick around for the start of the State Farm halftime report coming up right after the break. You're watching Pac-12 basketball on the Pac-12 networks. Teams back out on the floor here at USC. The Trojans with a 10-point lead over Coppin State at the half. Paul Sunderland back courtside with former Duke assistant Chris Patola. Your thoughts on the first half? Coppin State's zone certainly caused USC some problems, and then USC got a big break at the end of the half.
They did. Poor clock management by Coppin State. I think it's been a good half for USC. You know, they're shooting 48%. They have 9 assists on 15 field goals. They've shared the ball. I think it's been a good half for USC.
You brought up some of the numbers, so let's get to the Sony game snapshot, all the rest of the first half stats. And there you see it. USC was shooting the ball lights out early, not good from three-point range. Free throws were a big advantage for Coppin State early. USC did manage to get to the line a little bit late, but Coppin State there 13 times as we take a look at some of the highlights from the opening 20 minutes.
And here again, they've done a great job against the zone. They expected it coming in. They haven't forced too many threes. The ones they've taken have been open ones on penetrate and kick, and they've scored in transition. They've pushed the ball, and Omar Arabi has made his presence felt early here in his USC career.
JT Terrell trying to find his shooting range. 0 for 6 from the floor. Did get a couple of free throws at the end of the first half. Trojans leading it 40-30. Teams back out on the floor. USC in their home whites. Coppin State in their road blacks.